We've just learned that BYD is delaying vehicle production in Hungary, right in the middle of Europe. A big deal. And it looks like Turkey is going to get all the attention for the rest of this year. So what's going on? This was meant to be BYD's big launch pad into Europe, a full-scale passenger vehicle factory in Hungary, right in the middle of Europe, starting in 2025. It was due to start next month, but suddenly things have gotten a bit quiet, and instead Turkey has become the new favourite. So I'll explain in this video all of the details that we know, and I'll explain what's happening behind the scenes, why BYD is shifting its focus to Turkey, and what it means for us, the buyers, for the European Union market. So the 27 countries in the almost 28 countries, I think, isn't it? Actually, in the European market, I think, and for BYD's whole global strategy. Hello folks, my name is Ben Alexander. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for all the fascinating comments. Recently I've been reading all the comments. Basically as soon as I post videos, I always read the comments. If you're new to the channel, I cover the daily EV news from around the world, especially Chinese brands like BYD and CATL, the biggest battery company in the world. And yeah, I talk about how it affects us, actually, the buyers. Thank you also to all of the YouTube members and the patrons on Patreon. Your support doesn't just mean a lot, it really helps me make these videos. So thank you very much. All of these people on the screen as well, these are the current members. All right, let's start with what's happening in Hungary. BYD have quietly delayed the plant in Hungary, so BYD announced this massive project in a place called Szeged. I've never actually heard it said officially. I've just said it in English a lot of times. I think it's Szeged in Hungary, a passenger car factory with a plan to build models like the Atto 3, the Dolphin, for European buyers. And original estimates said that they would be building cars by August this year. But that timeline, it's looking less and less likely now, given that it's next month, in about a week's time. We're in August. And according to local suppliers and sources in Hungary, most notably the local council in Hungary, production is delayed until next year now. Actually, that's a bit of a sad thing, isn't it? No official press release either, so it's just a quiet thing that's happening. We kind of know about it. But when the supply chain slows, you know what's coming, don't you? So why is Turkey suddenly the priority? Because why was it not the original priority? Why is it suddenly now the go-to place to make an electric car? In 2024, in July, I think it was, or June, I think it was July, BYD signed this $1 billion equivalent of deal with Turkey, basically, to build a factory in the city of Manisa. I talked about it, actually. And that factory, or the facility, will eventually pump out 150,000 vehicles every year. A massive amount of cars. When you put that together with all the other plants as well, and the one in Hungary and that sort of thing, it's a big deal. So here's where it gets clever. Turkey has a customs union agreement with the European Union, even though they're not actually in the European Union. So they can, I've talked about this before as well, actually. That means that BYD can actually export cars into the European Union tariff-free, even though they're not built within the bounds of the European Union. What are they aiming to do? In order to avoid tariffs, the idea would be to build the same sort of cars, but don't export them from China. Just build them in a place that sits, close to the border, tariff-free, and very close to the market, and then sell to that market. It's pretty standard stuff, really. It's clever, but they're also rich enough to be able to just do these things and get them done. Smash out the money and get it done, which is it's a big thing, isn't it? They don't fight the system. They kind of just find a legal way around it. And they have the money to do these things in the first place, so obviously they can do it. And there's more to it. So Turkey has lower labour costs than Hungary, and the reason why they cited Hungary as the plant to build European vehicles was because it's a lot cheaper than Germany, for example. And yeah, they've got a solid auto manufacturing base already in that neck of the woods. So they've got the infrastructure, they've got the location, they've got the cost advantage. So if you're BYD, it just makes perfect sense to prioritize Turkey, basically. Let's zoom out for a second, because this gets interesting. We've already seen this. BYD have actually done the exact same thing in Brazil, where they just started building the Seagull and the Dolphin Mini. In Thailand as well, they've got a factory for right-hand drive models. And Hungary It's still happening. It's just going to happen slower, basically. The strategy is start to export their vehicles to different markets, test those markets, and then build a local factory in said markets, avoid tariffs, reduce shipping costs, and gain local goodwill. I believe that's my understanding of what BYD are doing. Turkey fits that model perfectly, actually, and it opens the door not just to the European Union, but to other markets as well, actually. I don't know if people are really thinking like this, but the Middle East, North Africa as well, you can literally drive down to North Africa. Why wouldn't they be doing that? And they're already expanding into Saudi as well. And while Hungary might have been meant for high-profile European Union expansion, Turkey just gives BYD speed, flexibility. They can do stuff really quickly. So this isn't a delay because something went wrong. It's a kind of strategic reroute, I think, that actually makes BYD more competitive, not less competitive. It's not a disadvantage. They're just using their business wit, which they're very, very, very good at. So what does it mean for us, the buyers, for Europeans as well? It probably means you'll wait a bit longer, maybe for the first Hungary-built BYDs, but you might see Turkey-built Atto 3s or Dolphins or something like that, potentially cheaper as well. I just don't really know personally whether BYD are going to pass on the cost savings. I've got no idea. Do you think they will? I've mentioned this a couple of times before, you know, in certain ways where BYD could maybe shave some money off. Are they going to pass on the savings or not? And just, you know, I don't know. Maybe not. Especially in Southern Europe as well. Places like Spain, Italy, Greece, where BYD is already targeting rapid growth. And obviously a lot of people there covet BYD vehicles anyway. So these are markets where a €20,000 EV would make a real genuine difference to ordinary people. And if Turkey made BYDs qualify for the same European Union incentives so they can get some money off, basically, this factory shift could actually make BYD more competitive than ever by knocking off some actual serious cash. I think it also sends a message as well to other automakers who are aiming to sell vehicles in Europe. If you're, you know, aiming to sell vehicles in Europe, you've got to be smart about it. And you've got to decide where you're going to build cars and really crunch your numbers. A good example of this was given to me actually in the comments early this year. A chap was telling me he was going to get a hybrid Yaris. He saw the price. He was kind of all right with the price, a little bit expensive. And then saw the BYD Dolphin. It was quite a bit cheaper, full electric, got that. And so yeah, he got that because it's cheaper. And it was seemingly better. If you can buy a better product for less money, it's a no-brainer. People are going to do it. So there you go. Hungary is slowing down. Turkey ramping up. And that's just a bit of a strange thing. Nobody really expected that. They're playing chess while everybody else is seemingly playing checkers. I actually used to be the chess champion, by the way, where I lived. In fairness, my dad was the teacher, and I used to play alone by myself a lot of the time. I was really a riot when I was a young kid. Really. I personally think this is one of their smartest moves yet, and it's actually it's quiet, it's strategic, it'll most likely pay off in the next year or two. But what do you think? What do you all think? I know, like I've said before, a lot of you are, you know, really clever people or engineers or wildly smart people. So what do you all think? How do you interpret what they're doing? And do you even mind where the cars are built? Actually, do you mind if you buy a car and it's, you know, you're in France, for example, and it's built in Hungary or Turkey or China? Do you actually care? Do you mind at all? Do you have a preference? Let me know in the comments. I read all of them. And also thank you again. Thank you very much to all of the people who support the channel. If you want to help me keep making these videos, you can join on Patreon and become a patron, or press the join button on YouTube on the channel. Even subscribing, which is free for you, that actually helps my videos grow on YouTube. And yeah, there's also a free tier on Patreon if you want to join on there. Catch you in the next video. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching.